Enad Haddad with us, Greensboro Reds baseball, NABA here at GreensboroSports.com. Just finished up another semi game. Didn't get all the game in against the Orioles, but you guys did have the 3-1 lead. Do you get the 3-1 win?
Yes, we played. That was the bottom of the fifth when they called it due to lightning.
Due to lightning and some thunder in the background,
yeah.
But you've been a little bit lucky with your team. You haven't missed too many games because of the weather, have you?
No, maybe one or two, but we've rescheduled them, and hopefully we'll get all of them in.
Yeah, the Orioles coach said they've had some trouble with that this month.
Yeah, they've had trouble with rain on their games.
It's going to be tough next week. I was telling the coach it's a lot of humidity coming up next week, a lot of rain, thunder showers all next week.
Yep.
How's the season kind of coming to an end now? Because you had the All-Star game a couple of weeks ago here on a Saturday night. Now the season's kind of hitting the latter stages. You guys knocked off the Bulldogs, I think, last Friday the 13th, beat those guys here.
17-7.
Had some pretty good games the past few days.
Yep. Well, we haven't played in a week. The last time the league basically played was well, there was a couple games earlier this week, but we went down to Hickory and we took an all-star team and split with them down there.
That was pretty good too. That wasn't bad for you.
The Reds haven't played in a week. This was the first time in a week. Actually.
Did you manage the game when you guys went to Hickory?
Yes.
Pretty busy time for you then.
Yeah, doubleheader.
And you had the Orioles tonight. You got some other games coming. You guys got an exhibition game next week, don't you?
Yeah, we're actually going to play the
Pride.
The Palomino Pride, or they're the Pride, but Palomino team that's going on to play in the tournament.
Saw a game yesterday with one of your proteges, Bill Aaron's Palomino team played against the Colts team over at Grimsley. And what do you think about your work going in next week against this Palomino team, the Pride team? Because some of the guys you have in your league are probably guys that played against those guys back in high school.
Well, it's exciting because we get to play at Stoner White. There's some nostalgia there.
You don't have to do the work over there. You get to go in and everything's to be ready for you. That'll help.
It's really exciting. It's a treat, actually. Buddy Walker called me. We got a good relationship.
And it's actually going to be your game next week against the Pride, and they're playing another team from your league too, I believe.
Well, we play Catawba Valley. We play the Brewers tomorrow. Catawba Valley Stars Monday. Tuesday we play the Carolina Rebels, which will be a tough game.
Right.
And then Thursday we head to Stoner White. And then Friday we actually play a team from our old league, the Triad Braves, which are the cream of the crop over there. Old rival I had.
It's been a pretty busy week for you then.
Yes, but we need it. We need to get some work in and get rolling for the playoffs because they're start August 1st.
So you got a busy close this year, and the playoffs start in just a few days.
Yes.
Been a successful season for the Reds?
Yes. We I'd say overall we've done pretty well. We've grown a lot. A lot of people have grown. We finally started hitting the ball all together. You've always got to practice defense and different situations that come in the game, but I'm pretty happy.
Picked up a few kids this year. I guess A.J. Williams and Kyle Warren, guys like that that joined your team have been good additions.
Yeah, A.J. Williams has grown a lot the whole year. He's a hard worker. He meets me anytime we need to meet. And Kyle kind of tweaked his elbow a little bit, just a hyperextension against the Bulldogs the last time we played. So we're kind of holding him out. We're going to get him a little work this week, but he's 100%.
Somebody said you want to make a trade, try to pick up a guy like Joey McIntyre. You'd like to have him on the team next year, huh?
Yeah, but I don't want to mess with any franchise guys.
He was a good kid for you in that home run derby, though.
I'd probably have to trade 5 for 1 for him.
5 for 1. What about that home run derby? He was a small kid watching him that night, and gosh, he beat the big man, Jason Rook. We were interviewing Jason along with Joey after the game, and we look at Jason's size-wise versus Joey's size. You think, gosh, where'd that little kid come from? How'd he do that?
He's definitely got some torque.
Yeah,
it's a ball very square.
How about your man Pete Rose? Got a reality show coming up soon.
Yeah, that was interesting. I saw that on NBCSports.com.
Think you'll have any luck with that?
I'm a little worried. But it's good to get him back in the spotlight. I really think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
How close do you think he is to getting into the Hall of Fame? Is it getting any closer?
I don't know. I really can't read Bud Selig, but I really feel that nobody got more with less than he did. He played the game hard, and I think with all the steroid stuff, not to make excuse for him, but I think it will help him. I know Bud Selig is old school and he was friends with Bart Giamatti, but I think they should let him in. I think he's paid his dues. And I know he's not the most he's not the best PR guy. He's a little abrasive, but you got to judge him on the baseball field.
Think maybe he's mellowed some over the years?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I think he's learned his lesson. I think he's humble, and I think at that point you should deserve a second chance.
Should be a big weekend for Barry Larkin, though, going to the Hall of Fame this weekend.
Yeah, that's exciting. He wears number 11 like I do. I always liked him.
Another former Red, the guy who won a World Series championship, I guess.
Yes, 1990, I think.
Some good days back then for the Reds. Good days
Paul
back in
O'Neill.
Pete Rose days.
Yeah.
Paul O'Neill.
Yeah. You know, actually, Pete Rose, those were his teams. He was second place maybe 4 years in a row, and 1990 Pinella came in. They ended up winning it.
It's hard to believe Lou Piniella did win the series.
Yeah.
Those guys. After all, he went through all those years. A lot of different stops for Lou Piniella along the way.
I'm a pretty big Lou Piniella fan, though.
Pretty hard worker over the years.
Very hard worker.
He had a heck of a dedicated attitude to the game.
Yes.
Kind of attitude a lot of players have, but kind of have been in the game for a lot of years, kind of get a little hardened. He had that hardened attitude, but he also had a lot of drive to go with it.
Yeah, he was passionate too.
How about other guys on that team back in that day? You had the
Eric Davis.
Yeah.
Chris Sabo.
Yeah, you had the old Nasty Boys too.
Oh yeah, who was that? Charlton.
Norm Charlton and Rob Dibble.
Rob Dibble and I can't remember the other guy.
That was a good group of players though.
Yes. Their ace was Jose Rio.
Jose Rio. Blame it on Rio, right?
Blame it on Rio.
Back in the day.
Yep.
So the Reds these days are doing pretty well though in the league. You think you can take the win tonight? That puts you what, 12-0 now?
Yeah, 12-0 in the league. I think that'll clinch the regular season championship for us too, the #1 seed.
How will was there a tournament coming up? You say for you guys? How will that
August 1st. It's an 8-team double elimination tournament.
Among your team, your league only.
Our league, Greensboro NABA.
What happens after that?
We can go into the World Series, but that's, we have to plan for that and financially make that happen.
Is that something you think your team will be interested in attempting?
We've talked about it, and you can take a couple players from the league. Yeah, we're very interested. We might do a North Carolina thing with Fayetteville and Charlotte. We had that messed up last year due to rain in Charlotte, but it's been a good year for the league. We've a lot of teams are starting to come up, like the Braves beat the Expos today. I think they're a team to watch in the playoffs. The Yankees have been hot, and the Rebels always scrap. So.
Where did they play that World Series at for the NABA?
In Florida, down at the minor league.
Down around the Roger Dean area, Dean Stadium, down that way?
Yep.
Gotcha. Down around Jupiter, probably.
Actually, it's Jupiter.
Jupiter Hammerheads. Yes. Next step up for the Greensboro Grasshoppers. The Hoppers guys, checking out the website, he had a no-hitter going through 7 innings, and then he got pulled from the game. And saw a little baseball on TV today. They had the Rangers on TV taking on the Angels today. Rangers look good. That Yao Darvish, the kid who's come on and pitched well for them. They're talking about a thing on TV today I thought you'd be interested in, too, being the manager. They talk about the adjustments a hitter makes between his first and second at bats. What can you tell us about that? Because I'm sure your guys have to do the same thing. You face that pitcher the first time. Second time through, you got to make a few adjustments.
Well, we faced Brandon Johnson, who pitched at Wake Forest, and his slider was getting him ahead in the count. We were swinging at it. So I ended up I told my guys, I said, look, take that pitch. Only swing at fastballs because he's not throwing it for a strike. You're chasing it. You're getting behind in the count. So they adjusted, and we started to come around a little bit. But he's a great pitcher. I'm sure we'll see him again.
And you did get the win tonight. That's another feather in your cap. And you say back in action again on Sunday.
Yes.
Well, how does that all stack up weather-wise? You see the weather in the forecast. You guys hop on the computer, hop on your cell phones, and keep an eye on that weather satellite systems as it comes in?
I usually go to weather.com and look at the map and then go 6 hours ahead and get a judge. I feel the hour to hour is a little off. I think it's more of just a guesstimation. So I think the satellite. But it was wrong today. And I want to thank Tony Axe, the manager of the Orioles. He came out earlier today, and we got the field ready.
And how does that work when you get ready for a game on Sunday? You finish up here tonight, but you're having to leave out because of the threat of the lightning caused your game to end early this evening. How do you go about getting ready for the game on Sunday? How much work does that involve? What time do you get started to get this field prepared again for the Sunday game?
Well, Joey Pisco will be out here early, and he'll take care of it tomorrow. He said he would. So
it's good to have some help, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how much help do you have keeping this league going? You got to manage the team. You got to run the league as being the commissioner, so you got to have some help on the side. The Piscos, Joey and his dad, those guys have helped out quite a bit, and you've had some other guys help.
Well, Josh Hughes is on the board. We talk once a week and go through everything, every detail. He's a treasurer. And then Travis Hudson, the manager of the Brewers.
He's a good guy. Made him into the All-Star game.
He is a big help. He's probably put more hours out here than anybody, me and him.
He's got a lot of insight into the game, too. He kind of sees it differently than some people do because he was a manager of a team up in Roanoke, Virginia's dad's league back when he was probably 18 years old.
Yeah, he's a Dale Imes protege. He played for him at Glenn. Joey Pisco helps a lot. Chris Pisco, Joey's father, who was a softball coach here. And actually, Andy Pisco came out today and drugged the field for us. But it's a group effort. We've had different people from like Taylor Lee from the Orioles tonight fix the mound before our game, and we've got different people who help out and stuff like that.
And it's got to be a full exerted effort too,
Yes.
because Coach Causey's busy this summer. Saw him the other evening over at the East-West All-Star football game. He was on the sideline helping to coach the West that night in that game, so he doesn't have time to keep it on this field. So this is pretty much your baby in NABA, the league's baby in the summer.
Yes. I saw him the other day at the Hess gas station. He was getting ice and drinks, and they were, painting the lines on the football field, and we had a short conversation. He seemed to be very happy with what we're doing, and we leave it to him better than when we got it. So
that's always a good thing, especially because most fields during the summer go unoccupied, and they get in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Just to take care of the grass, keep the field mowed, keep the infield dirt loose. Because you'll keep that infield dirt loose, it becomes hard as a rock, and you got to do a lot of work to get it back.
Yeah, I would. Last year was a surprise to me to take care of this field. There were weeds everywhere. I didn't know much about. I bought a backpack to spray, but it's enjoyable. I think there's more to be put into getting the field ready than actually playing. We were talking about that earlier today.
Yeah, game, probably you schedule a game here now to go 2.5 hours, 7 to 9:30 was your schedule tonight, and it probably takes 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours, maybe 4 even to get a game prepared before the game.
Yeah, we usually fix it up when we're done, and Jermaine White actually helps do the mound after the Reds games and the home plate.
Yeah, and you've got to get it ready sometimes after the game. Then you've got to also take into consideration what might happen weather-wise before you come back out the next day. You may be hit again.
Yeah. Yes. But you always have to be ahead. Yesterday we fixed the mound, or 2 days ago we fixed the mound, covered it, home base, and we survived yesterday. If we hadn't have done that, we wouldn't be able to play today.
Saw you after that All-Star game. A lot of raking involved too to keep those lines smooth between third and home and between first and home.
Yes. You've got You got to smooth it out so if it rains, it'll settle nice and easy. There's no holes or anything like that. It's definitely an art. I'm learning all the time.
And that makes players more want to play in a league too if the field is in good shape and if it's run properly. They don't want to come out and play someplace there's a chance they may get injured, because some of these guys maybe have aspirations to play some more ball after this or do something else in the off season. They don't want to get injured, hurt out here.
Yeah, we that's definitely part of what we do, is we want to provide a good service and a good place to play. And I think next year we'll make an even bigger jump out here. We've replaced all the bases out here, put anchors in, replaced the pitching rubber, the bullpens. We've fixed up the batting cage over here, kill all the weeds around there. And
this is the kind of thing with your guys. Has there been any politics among the league this year? Or is everything run pretty smooth so far this season?
Pretty smooth. We have perfect harmony, I would say.
That's a good thing.
I mean, yeah, we've got good leaders, good communication, a good vision, and you have to have good leadership in anything you're doing. You all have to be heading in the same direction, and that's a big part of what I want to lay out there so we can build in the future. If you have any animosity or managers that hate each other, you're not going to make it. I mean, that was one of the reasons that I wanted to start something new, was to start fresh and clean and stuff like that. So.
And sometimes you have to call a game because of the light. You ever get a game situation where you call a game and look back on it later, about 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, well, we could have finished that game that night.
Well, here we are, but we do have a 2.5 hour time limit, and the Lightning would have took us out of that. So.
Yeah, because if you get delayed, you got like a 30-minute break, you have to wait.
Every time you have to wait. Once you see Lightning, you've got to wait 30 minutes, and we want to be very safe out here.
It's kind of like that Western Guilford Northwest game you guys had that night. You saw some lightning that night in the air, and then you saw a little lightning around the field that night too.
Yeah,
got a little interesting.
Yeah, but if it stays far away, you can still play. But it kind of creeped up on us, and
it was called.
I guess Roy Hobbs' ghost was out here.
It was called for the southern part of the county, but it seemed like it kind of moved into the western section too.
Yeah.
How about this move they're making with the Palomino baseball next summer? Get your opinions back to that, because you still work some of the board. They're going with the wooden bats next summer. Going to have a Monday through Thursday league. Going with wooden bats. Going to have age 15 through 18, I think it is, next summer. Going to be a little different wooden bat league, and going after a little bit younger age group too, going down maybe a year or two.
Yeah.
What about those changes?
Well, I felt last year when I was the director that we should go to a Monday through Thursday league, maybe Friday. Let the showcase teams play on the weekends, and then if they wanted to supplement in with their schedules and stuff, you could get all those kids playing. I think things have changed around Palomino to where it's kind of thin a little bit, because those kids are going to play on the weekends. And I think it's great to have a local place, a nice park to play, Buddy Walker's done a great job over there. He's got things heading in the right direction. The wood
seems to be trying some things.
He's got a good niche.
Yeah.
And the wood bats is a great niche, and that's what those showcase teams are doing, most of them.
Most showcase weekends are wooden bat. And East Cobb, Georgia, where they notice and find so much talent over the years, that's been all wood bat, I guess, those big tournaments they have.
Yes.
And that's where the kids talk about going to be seen. That's where they get noticed, because I was talking to a guy the other day, telling him that there was a kid with the Grasshoppers, this kid Austin Nola from LSU, who was a teammate with Clint Moore up at the Cape Cod League a couple of summers ago. And there was another kid out of North Davidson went to LSU to play Tyler Hanover.
Yeah.
People say, how does a kid from North Davidson then all the way up down into LSU?
Yeah.
Well, those showcases and those weekend tournaments, those wooden back competitions, that's where they see these guys.
Yeah, they do. You get good exposure. But I feel that Palomino is going to have their own niche. That they can now go to these teams that are already established and get them to say, hey, let's supplement your season. You've got a place to play locally. Parents are going to love it because of the gas and the travel and all that. And I think it's a great thing. They're going to reinvent themselves.
Yeah, I think get some strength back in the league, get some more teams in, like you say.
Yes.
And guys, it's this day and time. The kids nowadays, they don't just seem to want to play for one team. They'd like to play for a team during the week and travel and play for a team on the weekends too.
Yes.
Because I'll go to places, I'll see a kid one night at one facility, and a couple of days later read about him in the paper playing for another team. Like one night he'll be with the Palomino team, next night he's with the Legion team.
Well, kids want to play as much as possible. They can play on the weekend here, or maybe they have to work or study or something, so they can catch up playing with another team. So they're just trying to play as much as they can and get as much exposure. And
how many games will your team play this year, the Reds, and how many games do each of the teams in your league play probably?
We play 17 regular season games and then playoffs. The Orioles actually started doing some out-of-league stuff. They beat Lexington Chops the other night 4-1. And I think they're going to get more into that next year. But we're going to play about 30-some games, maybe 35. We had about 40-some scheduled, but with rain and cancellations and other leagues having rainouts, that they had to reschedule and take us out of a game to finish a league game or something like that.
With us, Enad Haddad from the National Adult Baseball Association, the Greensboro NABA, and you're ready to close the season out. Is it gone as quick for you this year as you thought it would? Has it been smooth? Has it gone well?
It's gone very well. I mean, I was thinking that just driving here today, how fast it's gone, how established we are now. We've got 8 solid teams with good coaches. Potentially more teams coming next year with some people I've talked to. Good camaraderie. The fans are great, but it has gone faster than last year because you had to. There was a fear: are we going to have a league? Are we going to have enough teams? It was new, And now that we had that foundation set, we came back this year and added 3 more teams. And we know how to take care of the field better and all that sort of thing here. And we're playing at some other places like Deep River, Ed Price.
And you don't take any long breaks. You have an all-star game, but not a long break. If you take those long breaks, sometimes that's tough for the guys to come back and start playing again because they're thinking, gosh, let's take that 2-week break, and some guys don't come back.
No, we play middle of May to August 1st because the kids got to get back to school August 12th or 15th. So our tournament will be each day there will be games. If it rains, it'll roll over into the next day. So.
And with the NABA, where are the most of your players coming from? Remind us about that again. Is it like a transition does the kids start out playing Mustang ball, then Bronco ball, then Pony ball, then Colt ball, then Palomino ball, maybe some American Legion thrown in between, then come to the adult league? What's the transition like? Where do these guys come from?
That's the steps. I mean, some kids want to play like in the CVCL that are in college. And get more training from their coaches and stuff like that. Our niche is we have a local place to play against good college and adult competition. We have a lot of guys who are older who are very good. Some ex-minor leaguers. We had kid McGrath and Johnson from Wake Forest today on the Orioles, and they're basically RCC kids, and 2 kids from Wake Forest are the Orioles. But most of the kids come from Guilford, A&T, Winston-Salem State, we got a lot of kids from there. Greensboro College, we've got a few Coach Akers sent us. And then you've got some kids trickling over from Legion because some of their rules are changing and stuff like that. So.
Do you ever see guys like the same team from a college team come to you, want to play on your team, or we want to play a certain team so we can stay together because they can play together here and play together during the school year too?
Yes.
Try to keep that unit going?
Yeah, there's clusters of guys like that want to.
How about this kid, Kent Gillian? Did he ever come back to you?
I haven't heard from him. He was supposed to be an original Red in 07, and then he actually came back the next year. I think he got hurt or something, and came back the next year and pitched a little bit.
So he is still.
And he hurt his arm again.
So he's still AWOL, still AWOL. We got to find that guy.
Find him.
Because we were talking about it a couple weeks back about trying to bring him back again.
Yeah, he actually wore. I don't know why I remember number 18, which Ronnie Burks wears now, but we've got his number.
Yep, got his number. Maybe you can find a jersey for him if he decides to come back.
Yeah.
What do you think is the key to keeping this league growing and the foundation secure and to improve next year of what you've done and what you've laid out here again this year?
The keys are organization, communication, letting, from national to us, letting the managers know the vision that we have, and just taking care of. And I was talking to the umpires today that, you're going to have people get upset in games, and it's always going to happen. It's how you handle it is what's key. So, people will come and go, but they'll know that they had a good place to play. It was organized, that people cared about them, and stuff like that. It was good baseball.
Do you ever hear from the guys on the national level, maybe contacting you, asking you questions about the way you do certain things or how you handle certain things? Is there some communication contact between your league here and that national level?
Yeah, I go from in the winter once a week or every 10 days I talk to Joe Cons, who's the national vice president. He's head of league development. And we didn't get it this year. It fell through, but they actually were so happy with us last year, and they thought our location was so good that they wanted us to have a regional NABA regional tournament. So I think that'll happen next year. We're probably jumping the gun a little bit this year because Fayetteville was getting started, but they're great. I mean, they are phenomenal. Great support. I'll call them with any question anytime. I always get somebody to answer and help me out because things always come up. I'm always going to learn as a president and as a manager, and I'm going to pass that information along. So they're good at what they do. They're in Denver, and they have 80 leagues up there.
Wow.
In Denver.
In Denver.
Yes, they do.
Wow.
40,000 people or something like that involved in.
When you look on the national level, who's and how old is the oldest player? You probably don't know who he is, but how old is the oldest player probably playing in the National Adult Baseball Association? Any idea about that?
I think they got a 60 and up division.
60 and over.
60 and up wood bat, 7-inning wood bat.
Wow.
But they have divisions like single A, double A, triple A, wood bat or metal, or 25 and up metal. So that's what we're looking to do is, you can get in where you feel comfortable. If you're older, you can play on 2 teams. You can play on an easier level, and then if you want to play more competitively, you can play on those 2 teams. So I think we'll get to something like that. We might have 2 divisions. If you want to play in the higher division, you can, and then the lower. And the winner of the lower will go into the higher next year, and then it'll be like the I'll quote another sport, the Barclays Premier League in soccer. That's how they have like 6 divisions, and the winners go up and they go down. And that's how you keep it good and competitive, because with what we're dealing with, that's how you're going to stay consistent.
Yeah, in some of those leagues, and you do so well a season prior to, they make you move up to a higher level the next year, just to kind of spread out the competition, kind of make it more fair.
But this year, we've got the Orioles are a very strong team. We've beat them 5-3 and then 3-1. But it could go either way. And then you've got other teams like the Rebels who dominated in their league and then came over, and then the Greensboro Yankees have now kind of grown and developed into, they're in 3rd place, and they're a team to be reckoned with.
What are these guys doing in the off season? They sit around up at Kickback Jacks, or the formerly mentioned Riley Monkey. They sit around at those places taking it easy and doing nothing? Or some of these guys actually take it so seriously they're training in the off season, trying to stay in shape and get ready for the next year, or just trying to be ready if they get called to help somebody out with a team somewhere?
Well, a lot of the guys have families, and they watch pro football or college football. I did 10 fantasy football leagues last year, which was too many, but I'm very competitive. And
find something to let the competition level you like to keep you going.
Yes. A lot of them work out. A lot of them watch football, like I said, but they do train. We have guys who lift weights and do things like that. And,
you got a few guys that probably coach during the spring season places, don't you?
Well, Chris Eggers, who I actually read on your site the other night, he's one of our pitchers, and he'll be the head coach.
He's on your team?
Yes, he is.
Really?
He has he's pitched 2 games. His elbow is bothering him, but he's okay now. He's allowed 1 earned, 2 earned runs. He's been phenomenal.
And he's on the Reds.
He was going to pitch tonight. He was going to close the game for us. And we've actually talked to him. he just got that. We were talking tonight that he wants us to come over there and play at Grimsley, and we're going to try to work something out.
That's pretty good. Isn't he a former NCAA player?
Yes, he is.
That's what I'd heard. Don't know much about him, but interested. We're learning more about him even here tonight. Chris Egger is a member of the Greensboro Reds, former NCAA Aggie back in the day. Played for Coach Shoemate, I guess.
Yes, he did. Who's now at Lewisburg.
Lewisburg, the head man.
On your site, I learned that.
A lot of information. Who's going to be the new? You probably know this already, but you've just been kind of playing it, kind of sly, playing possum, but it kind of holding back. Been holding back on us. Who's going to be the new UNCG coach?
I heard that it would be I think the AD's from Florida State, and I think he's going to take somebody from Florida State. That's what I heard.
The Link Jarrett gentleman from Auburn, is he a possibility?
Possible.
Yeah.
But somebody down there in the South, I think. So we'll see.
Yeah, Mike Martin Jr.'s name came up with it, but it's the money, I guess, is the biggest issue. All these guys are doing well where they're at already, and sometimes they have to take a pay cut to come be a head coach.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way I look at it is get the job. I mean, it depends on where you're coming from, but it's a great park. It's a great growing city.
Yeah.
It's a great university.
It is what you make of it.
It is what you make of it. It's a new regime. So.
Yeah. I talked to a guy this past week, was a high school coach, said one time he was up for the job at a college and said if he went to the college, he would have had to take a pay cut.
Yeah.
Based upon the year-round job, that type thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the case. But the league will continue, and the website, is it done pretty well this year?
Yes, very well. We had a lot of hits on there.
NABA?
And the Facebook page.
And Facebook page. That's kind of, you've got a lot of friends out there, too, your Facebook friends that keep in contact with you.
Yes, I do.
How many stops along the way across the country? A lot of different states?
A lot of different states.
Do they also, in turn, keep up with you, what you're doing? Do they also track the leagues, follow the league as well?
Yeah, I mean, we've got, the league in Richmond we're friends with. We are friends with them on Facebook. They're friends with us, and then we all try to connect with each other, and that's how those tournaments come about. Or let's say I had a guy move here and found my league, and he actually was living in Charlotte, so I recommended him to that Charlotte league. But he wanted to play over here because of the website. But
you're probably not too apt to a guy maybe living in Charlotte or maybe across the border in Virginia somewhere to contact you, so I need to play a few games, just want to get back into it, come in for just a couple of games over a weekend or maybe a week. You're more concerned and more a little bit more apt to try to get the guy who wants to stay with the team the entire season.
Yeah, but we would, if that person wants to, sign up and register and do that, that's up to him. We'll take anybody that wants to play baseball.
And you've got a stacked roster pretty well this year, too. A lot of players, quite a few numbers.
Oh, yeah, I have about 29 guys. One of them got hurt, but you have, even though Tony Axe was saying how he's going to carry more guys next year. He has 20. The Brewers have 25. But if you're going to play 40 games, those summer travel teams like the Bulldogs and stuff, they carry 32 to 34 guys. And you have to have that many. That's because it's a war of attrition. You've got people who have faded out or got hurt. A lot of pitchers get hurt. And it's kind of like, I'm going to quote the NFL again. I mean, if you're paying attention to NFL football, those injuries add up in the end. Yeah,
it'd be like a professional football team that only carries 2 quarterbacks. This saying you have to carry 3 because you never know when that second guy who took over for the first guy, when he's going to go down.
Just like in fantasy football, you might get down a third-string running back at the end of the year. And, in pro baseball, you've got pitchers who get hurt all the time with their arms. You got to call people up and stuff like that.
Do you have like a assistant coach, or you pretty much run the entire show?
I run the show.
You the pitching coach, third base coach, and all that?
Yeah, but I always listen to the guys. Like Eggers was telling me some stuff tonight about, if the pitcher turns to, he doesn't step off the man, but he does a quick step throw, he has to throw to first base. And I knew that, but he brought it to my attention. So in this situation, we take turns coaching first, but I'll be at third. I'd like to bring somebody on to help out because it's a lot to do.
You think you might wait and see maybe one of your players is winding down?
I've been thinking about it.
If he winds down as a player, might want to take over and be a coach?
Yeah, and maybe I could do the GM thing. I don't know, but I do need, or a coach while I'm still here. But and I don't have plans to leave.
Right.
But I definitely need some help. I definitely am thinking about that, and we need that organization for the kids.
It's a good place to come play. You call these guys kids. Some of these guys are more advanced adults, but you got a wide range going from high school all the way to men who probably have, some guys maybe probably already retired.
Yeah, we've got a couple that are like late 20s, early 30s, 1 or 2 in their 40s. So.
And you said you have had a guy at least in his 50s before.
Yes. We actually had a coach who was registered and he wanted to hit, and he's 60-something. He got a hit in a game. They activated him and he got a hit, an infield hit actually. So,
and you gave him the game ball that day, I'm sure.
Yeah.
A lot of fun doing this.
Yep.
Does it give you much time to keep up with the Reds on TV after your games?
I do at night while I'm putting in the scores.
They're having a good year.
They are.
Challenging the Pirates, between them and the Pirates, to see who can get this thing going.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's exciting to see the Pirates do well, though, because they're small market. And
a lot of history, too.
Yeah, a lot of history. And actually, the team I was with before I was the Reds was the Pirates. And I like the 79 Pirates really started. I'm a big Bill Maddox fan.
And, who was running that show back in that day? I'm trying to remember.
Chuck Tanner.
Chuck Tanner, yeah, Chuck Tanner, because one time he put Kent Tekulve in the game, and he inserted him incorrectly, so he had to put him in the outfield the way he made the lineup change. He had to sit in the outfield. They thought, well, he'll never get a ball hit to him.
Yeah.
Pop up to the outfield, and Kent Tekulve had to make a play in the game.
Yep.
But like I said, that family team, Willie Stargell and all those guys
Jim
back in the day,
Bibby.
huge. Yeah, Jim Bibby, who's I think passed away now, former North Carolina resident, brother of Henry Bibby of the NBA fame, and
Dave Parker.
Dave Parker, he's a great outfielder,
Omar
right
Moreno.
field. A lot of good ones. Tavares, too.
Tavares.
Yeah, shortstop I think he was at that time. They had a lot of talent on that team. I'm not sure if Manny Sanguillen was still catching up, but I think he was probably around the team somewhere.
I think
he later went to the A's, too. He got passed on.
I think he was still there, and then it went to Tony Pena.
Oh, what a catcher he was,
early 80s.
Yeah, a lot of great history with the Reds and the Pirates.
Steve Nosha might have been one of the catchers. Remember him?
I remember the name vaguely. I remember Sosha real well, but Nosha not quite as well.
In something.
Mm-hmm. A lot of good talent over the day. Well, Enad, I got to let you go, and the Reds have kind of come on strong here this season. It's been a good year for you. Good time to kind of have the current state of affairs for the Greensboro NABA Reds. Find out what the team is doing, what they're going to be doing the rest of the way, and keep up the good work, and hope you get some good rest after the game and come back out Sunday for another outing.
Thank you for your time.